ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
ओम ईश्वरो
मूर्तिभेद विभागिने
विभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
ॐ सहना भवतु
सहना भवतु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै
सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता
नारायणेन स्वयं
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्।
व्यासेन
ग्रथितां
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवत्वेषिणीम्।
अम्ब अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवत्वेषिणीम्।
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः।
वेदैः साङ्गपदोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः।
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः
पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः तस्मै नमः।
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति समन्विते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते।
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टारुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्।
रोगानशेषान् न पहंसि तुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्
त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति।
आमाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणाम् आमाश्रिता यदश्रयतां प्रयान्ति
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी।
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्येश्वरी
एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्।
कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते।
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टारुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्।
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्
त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति।
आश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणाम् आश्रयतां प्रयान्ति
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी।
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्येश्वरी
एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्।
त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते।
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टारुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्।
तुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान्
त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति।
आश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणाम् त्वामाश्रिता यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी।
सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी
एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्।
एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या
कायेन
येन
मनसा
मनसा
बुद्ध्या
बुद्ध्या
केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि
तैरपि
योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति
योगिनः कुर्वन्ति
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा
युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा
कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा
शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम्
शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम्
अयुक्तः कामकारेण
कारेण
फले सक्तो निबध्यते
निबध्यते
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा
सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी
संन्यास्ते सुखं वशी
नवद्वारे पुरे देहि
नवद्वारे पुरे देहि
नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्
कुर्वन्न कारयन्
Yesterday we were seeing 13th verse. We have completed up to 12th verse. Now 13th verse. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्य आस्ते sukham vashi. Vashi is a nominative, akarta. Vashi, who is the master of one's own body, mind, sense complex. Such person, manasa, through mind, sarva karmani sanyasya. All karmas are given up through mind, and what that person is doing, sukham aste. Aste means just he is sitting, sukham, comfortably. Where, if we ask, he says, Navadvare Pure. He is sitting inside the city, and that city has 9 doors. And such person, Dehi, one who resides in Deha, in body, such person, this is Dehi means consciousness. Dehi, na eva kurvan, it doesn't do anything, na karayan, it doesn't ask another person to do. Is karayan, both that person doesn't do. Dehi is doesn't do. Here the vashi, the meaning is also consciousness. Even dehi, the meaning is also consciousness. We have seen also anvaya, vashi, sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. A vashi means a person who is the master, who is the controller of one's own body. He has given up sanyasya, sarva karmani. He has given up all karma through mind and sukhamaste. He is sitting where Navadvare Pure. He is sitting inside the city which has 9 doors, and Dehi, the dweller inside the body, na eva kurvan, na karayan. He doesn't perform any karma at the same time. He doesn't ask anyone to do any act, to perform any karma. Behalf of that person is called karayan. And we have seen yesterday, but still the mainly discussed topic in 5th chapter is 2. One is lifestyle and another is sarva karma sannyasa. 2 main topics have been discussed. First is called the lifestyle. The name of lifestyle are called pravrutti margaha, and another is called nivritti margaha. Here marga is lifestyle. Marga is not as a road. but is a road, one who gives a way up to the moksha. That's why it's called marga. And here, nivritti marga. Nivritti means secluded. Marga means lifestyle, means sannyasi lifestyle. Pravrutti marga, another name we have seen, is called karma yoga. And nivritti marga, we have seen, another name is sannyasa. In pravrutti marga, person has to live highly active life with all type of possessions. And nivritti marga, that sannyasi has to withdrawal from all over the universe, even earth, with less possession, without any possession. When I was seeing that Chinmayanandaji's biopic picture, Shivananda, Swami Shivananda, he met Swami Shivananda, Chinmayanandaji, and Shivananda told Chinmayanandaji, you have to go to Tapovanji Maharaj in Uttarkashi. He will teach you all Upanishad and Prasthantra. I have no time also because he being doctor, he was very busy, Shivananda Swami. But he gave sannyasa to Chinmayanandaji. And Chinmayanandaji name is given by Swami Shivananda. And that Chinmayanandaji went to Tapovanji. He went by walking only up to the Uttarkashi. When he met Tapovanji, then he said, why you have come over here? Then he said, Shivanandaji Swami has asked me to meet you and please, I am requesting you, please teach me. Then he asked, he has given any letter or not? He should give a letter, please teach him, otherwise how can I teach you? You are totally unknown to me. So again he went back from Uttarkashi up to Rishikesh. And again he requested Shivananda Swami, please give me a letter, otherwise Tapovanji said, I won't teach you. So he said, I was expecting this only. Even Shivananda Swami knows he will send him again, but he didn't write. Again Shivanandaji has wrote one letter to Tapovanji. He went back up to Uttarkashi and he studied. But at that time, he has nothing. Chinmayanandaji has nothing, not less. Even he doesn't have another pair of clothes when he went to Uttarkashi. It's called totally less possession. And through this pravrutti marga and living a life of karma yoga, what will happen? So we have seen the purification of mind will take place. Through what? So three types of karma, kaikam, vachikam, and manasa karma. So through all three types of karma, kaikam, vachikam, manasam, that person has chitta shuddhi. Same way, even for sannyasi also, he has to do chitta shuddhi, all three karmas only, kaika, vachika, and manas karma. And what pravrutti marg means karma yogi has to do, that person has to give up personal likes and dislikes. Same way, even sannyasi has to give up personal likes and dislike. After going through this all process, what will happen? Chitta Shuddhi. What is the meaning of Chitta Shuddhi? So this is a technical word. We have seen that person is ready. It's called, is ready for Jnana Yogyata Prapti. Yogyata means that person is eligible for what? Atma Jnana. So this Karma Yoga and Vividisha Sannyasa help Gruhastha and Sannyasi to make our mind ready for self-knowledge. So Karma Yoga helps to prepare ourselves. And what is the measurement? How can we say this person is eligible for Jnana? So it's emotionally mature. That person should be emotionally mature. His or her mind should be calm, composed. And that person has to sacrifice their personal raga dvesha. Only this raga dvesha agitate our mind. That's why, what is the parameters of Jnana Yogya Prapti is, one is emotionally mature, and second thing is that person should not have any personal raga dvesha. And now that person will go appear in front of Guru, and what Guru will do? So Guru will teach self-knowledge. And the name of self-knowledge is given in even Gita also, even Upanishad, Jnana Yoga. Like that was Karma Yoga and this Gnana Yoga. And that person, what will we do after studied self-knowledge or Upanishad? So that person will discover one's own higher self, one's own real nature. And this time our net connection went off yesterday. But I was discussing there are two types of I am. I am means I am is called ahankara. When it says in our subtle body, man, buddhi, chit, ahankar, there's one ahankara name comes. So what is the name of ahankara? The name of ahankara means one who identifies with one physical body and one's own subtle body. If we say, I am fat, I am male, I am female, whatever, it's called ahankari. Even somebody says, I am very unhappy. Somebody says, I am happy. So we are identifying ourselves with mind. Everybody is called ahankari. So aham karoti iti ahankari. That person who has identified oneself with BMS, body, mind, sense complex, that person consider oneself karta or bhokta. I am a doer and I am an enjoyer of my own result of action, karta bhokta. And such person has their own sanchit karma as well as agami karma, because he considers oneself doer and enjoyer. And if sanchit karma is available in our account, what will happen to that person? Punaha api jananam, punaha api maranam. That cycle of birth to death, from death to birth will be continued. For whom? One who always identify oneself with oneself, body and sense. And now there is another I am. So what is that I am which is not connected with body, mind, sense complex? This is considered oneself as a karta bhokta. This I am consider oneself is mere consciousness. And yesterday I was telling, in all three states of our life, in waking state, in dream state, even in sleep state, always this I am with us, but this I am is not connected with waking state, dream, and even in sleep. Is a witness of all three states. It's called mere consciousness. But somebody asks us, who are you? So we can't say, I am consciousness, but we have to use I am. It's called I am. For ahankari, one who identifies with body, mind, sense complex, that person has sanchit karma, agami karma. But this person who knows oneself, he has only sanchit karma. Sorry, he is written wrongly. He has only prarabdha karma. Prarabdha is already begun. So here is not sanchit karma, but that person has only prarabdha karma. Prarabdham tu iha bhujyatam in sadhan panchakam. Even Gnani has to experience their prarabdha karma. So this person has only prarabdha karma, while this Agnani has sanchit and agami. And this one who identifies with body, mind, sense complex, that person punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, but this person is parantakalam. For this jnani, he doesn't have next birth. That's why when we receive sannyasi, at that time we are using te brahma loke tu para antakale paramritat parimuchyanti sarve e. This is parantakal. The meaning of Parant means this is the last time. There is no next birth. Parimuchyante. They are released from the cycle of death and birth. Parimuchyante. For who's this? For Jnani, one who knows their real nature. And this is for whom? One who identify oneself with body, mind, sense complex. Now from 13th verse, we have seen up to 12th verse. From now 13th verse, Bhagavan will discuss again the features of consciousness or Chaitanya Tattva, which we have seen in 2nd chapter from 11 to 25th verse. Same features, characteristics again will be discussed in from 13th up to 21st. That's why I have given in 5th chapter up to 1 to 12 is for Karma Yoga, from 13 to 21 is for Jnani. And another name of Gnani, frequently in Bhashyam, Shankaracharya has written is Sarva Karma Sannyasi. Again, I can repeat, Gruhastha can be also Sarva Karma Sannyasi, and Sannyasi can be also Sarva Karma Sannyasi. The meaning of Sarva Karma Sannyasi is not connected to any Vesha. The robe we wear outside, but Sarva Karma Sannyasi is the state of our mind. A mind who knows I am mere consciousness, that person is called Sarva Karma Sannyasi. So that consciousness have been discussed. And what are the features we have seen in 2nd chapter? So we have seen first, consciousness is independent from body, mind, sense complex. And this consciousness, it is not bound by the limitation of the body. This is a beautiful example, has been given by Chennai Swamiji Paramarthananda. This is, he always used to ask, he just raised his palm and he asked, what is this? Generally, we always say this is palm. Then he says, no, there is a two thing with palm also. Then the answer is, he used to say, there is a not only hand or palm, but this is a hand plus light, electricity, which illumines our hand. And then he used to give 4 points about this hand and light, which we can connect with our body. So he always say, light is separate from hand, and light only illumines hand, nothing else. Second thing, light is not limited by the boundary of hand. Light is also all pervading. Second point. Third point is, light is not born out of hand. And fourth is, hands can go out, but light still remains, which illumines whole room also. Here in hand and light, now we can put body and consciousness, same thing. So same points can be applicable for body and consciousness. So we can say consciousness is separate from body, even subtle body. What is the job of consciousness? Living inside the body just enlivens the whole body. It makes this body sentient, nothing else. Second point, consciousness is not limited by the boundary of body, physical body. Consciousness is all pervading. Third point is, consciousness is not born out of body. There's some says, after when birth will come, then consciousness will come. It's not like that. Consciousness is not born out of the body. And fourth one is, point is, hands can go. Same way body can die, but consciousness will remain. It never goes. It never dies. So these features we have seen in 2nd chapter. Another features were discussed in second chapter was consciousness is only one, ekameva. Body has many parts. Even subtle body has many, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 2. But consciousness is only one, ekameva advitiyam. And in technical language, we can say this consciousness is not bound by anything. Vastu means anything. Here, Vastu is not that consciousness, but here the meaning is Vastu is it is not bound by anything. That's why only one. Third point is consciousness is all pervading like space. We have seen in second chapter is Tatam or Sarvagata. The consciousness is all pervading. In technical language, it says Desha Abadit. It is not bound by any space, place. It's called Desha Abadit. Fourth point we have seen, body dies, but consciousness never dies. Difference only, it does not have transaction medium, that consciousness. Through this subtle body and gross body, the transaction can be possible. So the name of that consciousness we have seen is called Ajaha. It is not bound by any time. Kal Abaditaha. This is our real nature. Here the description is not third party. This is the description of our real nature Bhagavan is discussing. Fifth one is consciousness doesn't undergo any type of modification. The name we have seen, Nirvikara, na jayate na mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva, is called Nirvikara, asti jayate vardate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati. This sixth modification is not available in consciousness. Why? Because it is not bound by time. Which is bound by time, that thing undergoes change. Otherwise, there is no change. And in fourth chapter, we have seen consciousness cannot perform any karma, any action because of all-pervading nature. Space cannot move because space is all-pervading. Consciousness is the cause of space, is a more subtle and all-pervading. That's why consciousness is akarta, is not doer. Therefore, consciousness doesn't have any good karma and even not a bad karma. It cannot do any karma. And if consciousness is akarta, then simply is abhokta also. Cannot enjoy any fruit of one's own action. So there is a one sentence in Sanskritam, Yaha karmanam karta bhavati. One who considers oneself is an author or doer of karma, that person only saha eva karmanam bhokta bhavati. That person only becomes an enjoyer of their own result of action. But when consciousness is a akarta, at the same time, it is not a bhokta also, a bhokta only. And a person who has owned up this real nature, still that person live inside the body, but there is no identification with BMS, body mind sense complex. Still that person is living inside the body. Such person can be gruhastha also, maybe sannyasi also. That's why I keep on telling sarva karma sannyasi moksha. Gruhastha can also write to know oneself is already muktaha. Same way sannyasi. Both can have sarva karma sannyasa. A person who doesn't have gnanam, that person is always in problem, but a wise person who has a gnanam, that person has to face the problems of life. But gnani, a wise person, looks at problem for the standpoint of consciousness. And if they can see the problems, so he objectify the problems is like an object. There is a space between a object, problems, and oneself. So he never disturbed such person. So he can look all problems objectively. So that person never get distress. In Gita, many places Bhagavan has given the description of Jnani. So here also, now from 31 to 21 verse, there are also description of Jnani. How that person lives inside the body, how that person behaves with another person, how this karma, papa, punya can affect the Jnani or not, all are given from 13 to 21 verse. Bhagavan says, what Gnani can say when that person has Gnanam, that person can say, I am not body, but still I am living in the body. Then why I have to worry about the problem of body? So that person always never identify oneself with body. It's called Jnani. Now, Bhagavan will discuss what that person will do. Now Vashi, that word has been used in 13th verse. What is the meaning of Vashi? The meaning of Vashi is Jnani, a master of the body, a Swami of the body, and that person knows I am a controller of the body. If mind would like to go out, that person can control that mind. If I would like to go out, that person can control I. It's called Vashi. Such Vashi, one who is the controller of body, mind, sense complex, that person, Sarva Karmani. So what is the meaning of Sarva Karmani? It says all actions. Which type of? Either through gross body, either through speech. If we think also, can give punya papa. All levels of karma, that person has sannyasya. He has given up. But why? How? Manasa sannyasya. That person has given up all karma through mind. Shankaracharya ji has written, karma abhimana tyaktva. He has given up that ownership. I am a doer, have given. And why he can give up this authorship? Because akarta, that person knows I am not doer. And how that person knows? Atma Gnanena. Because of self-knowledge, that person knows I am not doer. If I have never performed any action, then how can I honor of my all karma? It's called Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya. That a person has given up all karma, and now what he does or she does, Bhagavan says, Sukham Aste. Really, the meaning of Aste is to sit, but he has written comfortably that person lives. Because problems, worries are from body, mind, sense, complex standpoint. That person knows I am all pervading. So he doesn't have any problem. That's why Sukhamaste. He lives comfortably. And who is that person? Another adjective Bhagavan has used is Dehi, who resides in the body. Like Dhani, one who has a Deha or Dhanam is called Dhani. Same way. So we never claim I am Dhanam. Dhani means one who has the possession of wealth is called Dhani. So Dhani, wealth is different, person is different. Same way Dehi. one who resides in Dehi, then Deha is different, Dehi is different. So Deha, who resides in Deha means that person knows I am not Deha, even gross body, even subtle body. It's called Dehi. Where does he live? It says Navatvare Pure. Puram is called city. It's a fort actually. In ancient time, what kings used to do, he lives in one city and the city is covered by big fort. That fort has 9 gates. It's called Navadvare Pure. So there is a comparison between, and Pura here, Bhagwan has given, is called body. Our gross body is called Puram, and this city has 9 doors. So there is a comparison between a city and our body. City, Bhagwan says, same 9 gates. So our body has also 9 gates. Entrance, 7 are entrance gate. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth is entrance. And 2 exit gates, exitary. Urinals, anus are called 9. So our body has 9 gates through which somebody is coming inside, something is going out. So 9 gates. In Puram means in city, there are roads. Otherwise, how can be city possible? So our body, which compare with city, they have also roads. But what are the name of roads here? So is the blood vessels are considered as the roads. Some are big roads, some are small roads in city also. So what are the big roads in our city? Means our body is aorta. So artery and veins, but there are big aorta considered as a big road, while small roads considered as a blood capillaries, considered as a small road. But through all roads, our body is made up. In Puram means city also, there are workers who keep on working. Same way, we have workers in our body. The name of workers are Pancha Pranaha. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. They all are workers. In spite, when we go to sleep, they never take rest. They keep on doing work. So these are called workers. In city, Puram also, citizen. There are many citizens, they live. Same way in this Sharira, there are many cells are living. In city, there is a king who never does anything. He just ordered. Same way, in this city, who is the king in our body? Jivatma is sitting. Until Jivatma is there, this body keeps on working. If Jivatma leaves the body, everything is stopped. That's why our body is compared with city. Navadvare Pure Dehi. And what is doing that Dehi? Na Kurvan, na Karayan. That person doesn't do anything. Na Kurvan, na Eva Kurvan. He doesn't do anything. He or she doesn't do anything. Even that I have mentioned, no good karma, no bad karma. He never thinks I am doing any good or bad. And how he thinks. So again, I have given one example. Electricity or light illumines both things. Surgery of doctor, and if some pickpocketer is there, he is doing thief is there. But what light does? It illumines both. He never happy to give a light to doctors, and he never unhappy to illumine even thief. Light is sakshi, witness. Same way, consciousness inside the body doesn't do anything. He never own up, this is good, this is bad. He just do. So it's called na eva kurvan. At the same time, na karayan also. It doesn't instigate. It doesn't ask anything to do, perform the karma. Suppose in our house there is a maid. When servant is there, we always ask servant to perform something. So servant is kurvan and we are considered as a karayita. Same way, even Atma is a ask someone to do. So he says, Nakarayan. He never asks to perform anyone to do, please do behalf of me. It's called Nakarayan. Never ask. And one example we can give, if some criminal is there and he committed some crime, and when he go in front of some judge and he asks why you have done such crime, so he can see, if he knows some Gita, he can see I am a mere instrument. Bhagavan becomes a criminal, he asked me to commit some crime, but he says Atma never even asks to do something. It's called Nakarayan. Atma never asks to do good things or even committed to crime. Goodness and badness is always belongs to ahankara, not consciousness. That's why I have quoted one in Kathopanishad. Nachiketa has asked one question to Yamadharmaraja, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, yat pashyasi tat vada. He asked, I know which is beyond dharma means punya, which is beyond adharma, which is beyond even papa also. What you know, you teach me, because I am not interested in punya papa, because consciousness is never connected with punya papa. Even that's why in 18th chapter, Bhagavan, in last Upadesha of Bhagavan is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. At that time also, Sarva Dharman means Dharma plus Adharma. You just give up your Papa Punya, Mamekam Sharanam Braja. You just surrender to me. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyaha Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. So here, first Bhagavan has given the features of Jnani she doesn't do, even in spite of residing in the body. Akarta, abhokta. Now another features. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhuhu na karma phala sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. Here the Prabhu is not Lord, but the meaning of Prabhu means self-effulgent consciousness. Same Atma is given the name Prabhu. Actually, the meaning of Prabhu means Prakarshena Bhavati. Oh, always being is called Prabhu. That Prabhu, main sentence is Na Srujati. He doesn't create. What he doesn't create? Na Kartrutvam Srujati, Na Karmani Srujati, Na Karma Phala Sanyogam Srujati. So Atma never creates any doership. Atma doesn't create any actions, and even Atma doesn't create. Here Srujati means create, doesn't create any connection between result of karma and karma. For whom lokasya. Here the meaning of loka is a person. Loka is not Prithvi Loka. Here the meaning of loka is for any person. Even there is a loka, no? We always say lok. The meaning of loka means lokyate, anubhuyate, iti lokaha. Where we can experience is called loka. Inside the body, if we experience, this body is also called lokaha. In Prithvi, if we can experience, then Prithvi is considered as a loka. So loka is where we can experience. So lokasya, for any person, atma doesn't have any doership, doesn't create any karma, and doesn't create any karma phala sanyoga. There is no connection with the result of karma. Then how this everything is going on? Bhagavan says, Svabhavastu pravartate. It just happens naturally. There is no involvement of Atma in such activity. It doesn't create anything. So first we say Anvaya. Here the Prabhu is Atma, Lokasya Kartrutvam na srujati. It doesn't create a doership for any person. Here, even is the sixth case, but translation is for any person. It's called in grammar Sheshe Shashti. Sometimes we use this sixth case for any case. So for person, Atma, doership, doesn't create karmani api nasrujati. It doesn't create any actions also. And karma phala sanyoga. Sanyoga means connection and karma phala. The result of karma nasrujati. It doesn't create. Then how this going on? Sabha vastu pravartate. It just happens. It leads naturally. There is no involvement. So first we'll see lokasya kartrutvam nasrujati. Prabhu means self-effulgent Atma, but really speaking, etymology is prakarshena bhavati. Bhavati means being, prakarshena. Prakarshena. Bhavati. So this Atma is just happen, being, as in I am. So Prabhu lokasya, for any person, kartrutvam na srujati. It doesn't create doership for any person. So Atma or consciousness never ask anyone to do anything. Atma never ask, you start seeing. Atma never ask our ear, now you start listening. Atma never ask our mouth, start tasting. Atma never ask. Even Atma never ask mind, you start thinking. No such thing. So Atma doesn't order any sense organ, any mind or prana to function in their respective field. So he never create any doership. So why he doesn't create any doership? Because in Kenopanishad, it is given, if anybody has studied Kenopanishad, it's given what is the nature of Atma. It is Shrotrasya Shrotram. Atma is the ear of ear. Manasaha mana. The meaning, literally meaning is a mind of mind. Vachaha vacha means is a speech of speech. Pranasya pranaha is a breathing of breath. Chakshushaha chakshu is the eye of eye. But meaning is because of whose presence Shrotram means our Karnendriya can function of listening. Because of whose presence mind can start thinking. Because of whose presence Vachaha can speak. Because of whose presence prana starts their all physiological action. Because of whose presence chakshushaha chakshu, I can start seeing. So it is never involved any action. In never order also you start seeing. It's just in the presence of Atma, all senses can be engaged in their own field. But here kartrutvam nasrujati. It never create any doership. At the same time, karmani api nasrujati. Prabhu karmani nasrujati. Here Prabhu is again Atma. That's why I have kept in bracket. Karmani nasrujati. He never create any actions. How can Atma creates any action? Because he is all pervading. It is next impossible. He performed, that's why his name also, Akarta is there, but still Achalaha. Achalat, there is any action is not possible. If one who is limited, that thing can have any action, but who is all pervading cannot have any action. So there is a one meaning, but second meaning is also given by Shankaracharya ji, one who knows little bit Sanskritam. We have seen in declension, there are karta, karma, karana, sampradhan, apadan, sambandha, and last is locative, adhikarana saptami. 7 case. Second case is if karmani, we have karmani prayoga. Second case name is karma vibhakti. And what is the meaning of karma there is also technical. Here the meaning of karma is not action, but here karma is object. That's why I have given some example. If we say Sita sees deer, so deer is the object of Sita see. If we say Rama listens sound, so sound is the object of Rama's listening. Devadatta cooks food. So food is the object of Devadatta's cooking. If I say mother plays a violin, so violin is the object of mother's playing. So these all are called object. Any object in Sanskritam is called karma. So here the another meaning of karma is Bhagwan is this Atma doesn't create object of action. The second meaning, first is simple action, but another meaning is object of action Bhagwan doesn't create. Just happens, nasrujati. And last one is karma phalla sanyogam nasrujati. Prabhu means again that Atma karma phala sanyoga, connection with result of action, he never create, because result of action will go to doer only, one who thinks oneself as a karta. But Atma knows I am not karta, and if Atma is not karta, then how can it's connected with the karma phala also? So there is no any connection with karta and doer, then how can it connect it with result of karma? So Atma doesn't create any doership, Atma doesn't create any actions, and Atma doesn't create even karma phala sanyoga. Then why this happening? That's why Bhagavan says, Swabhavastu pravartate. It just happens naturally. One's own nature, they are engaged in their own field. So in same 5th chapter, 9th verse, Bhagavan is given, Indriyani indriyartheshu vartate iti dharaya. These all senses are engaged, vartante means engaged with the respect of their own sense object. It's natural. There is no role of consciousness here. It is natural. That's why sense organs engage themselves. Here is in the sense object. This is a natural. This is no any role of consciousness. That's why I have written. Eyes has the object of colors and forms. Ear has their own object of words. Nose their object of smell. It's just naturally they are connected with each other. No involvement of Atma, they only lend consciousness to senses. Because of the presence of consciousness, these eyes, ear, nose, tongue, even skin, all are become sentient, and then they go towards their own field. There is no any role. Svabhavastu pravartate. So here another features Bhagavan says, even Atma is not connected with karma phala sanyoga, even doership is only a way. Any question?
Yeah, Swamiti, you said Atma is not connected with any doership, right?
Yeah.
The karma phala, but we carry our karma from with the same Atma life to life.
That Atma is called Jivatma.
Okay.
And I have told what is the difference between Jivatma and Atma. Whenever we say Atma is all pervading consciousness, but Jivatma means a one
The
who
body.
identify with oneself with mind. It is called Jivatma. Suppose we say when consciousness is all pervading, when subtle body comes in contact with consciousness, it just behave as a life. Just mind becomes sentient, and that mind starts thinking, I am sentient, I am consciousness, but my limit is up to mind only. This is called Jivatma. And that journey from one birth to another birth is for Jivatma, not for Atma. One who knows I am Atma, then no journey then. It stops.
That is the final for them.
Yeah. This is Parantakala.
Swamiji, what is the exact meaning of the word Parantakale?
Para means if we take para plus anta. So
Param.
anta means last.
Or end.
Para at that time we can take is a limitless. Is anta.
Parantakale means
Para.
beyond time.
Yeah.
Middle.
Beyond time. Yeah. We can-
Kala.
Yeah. Kala. We can say last. There is a last time. Para is not then limitless, but we can take as a para means this is a last, final, great finale.
So, Swamiji, you said Sarva Karma Sannyasi, someone who looks at everything objectively, completely objective.
Objectively, plus one who knows my real nature is only consciousness.
Consciousness. So there is no kartartvam. He has given up. It is not me who is doing it. My body, sense, mind complex may do something because that is the nature.
Yeah.
And due to whatever past karma, so he has created a distance between even his own actions, and he doesn't own it up. He basically says, I am that consciousness. I own my real nature, and what happens through me, I am away from it. Or he has created a space between his actions and himself. So we are talking of 100% objectivity.
100%. 100%.
And if 100%
So that
objectivity,
Sarva Karma Sannyasi may be Gruhastha also, maybe Sannyasi also. So Sarva Karma Sannyasi is not like orange clothes. Sarva Karma Sannyasi can be through mind only. That should be clear. Still any question?
Swamiji, that body mind sense complex that you talked about, it kind of goes with that Vastu Desa Kala Abaditam.
But consciousness is Vastu Desha Kala Abaditam, no?
Abaditam, Aparichinnam Param. So that's one way to really remind ourselves is not to be influenced or impacted by BMS. Is go back to that Abaditam, remind ourselves with the Abaditam all the time, right?
Yeah.
so also Swaminiji, when you say complete objectivity, what it means is that your ahankara has to follow. In the sense, anytime you say, I am doing it, then you lost it there itself.
No. It's even sometime, Puja Swamiji or any Raman Maharshi, he has to say, yeah, they have to use the same, no, I'm doing. But at that time also that person knows, in spite of I'm using this word, I'm not doing, but body is doing.
Yes,
Space is there.
transactional purpose you need. I mean, you cannot transact without that I sense.
Yeah.
For that you need it. But then you know that it's not you. I mean, obviously, it's the consciousness who is responsible for every action.
Yeah.
That for the fact that you can act,
Yeah.
behind,
Yeah.
you know. So the ego, the I sense, needs to go
Yeah.
if you want to be completely objective.
Yeah. Correct. Any question now? Question ji, Neeta ji, Sharmila ji, Meda, Matangi ji, square. Chu Matangi.
That's a square.
Yeah, sorry.
Completely objective right now.
Shall we do Purnamada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Om
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Samudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Happy Mother's Day.